Hello everyone and welcome to episode 31 of the ECW Revival series here on the channel, as it is the final CyberSlam before Punk vs. Kenta 3. This is our first two pre-show matches before we start the actual episode here, as it's Beth Phoenix and Shaw Guerrero, as Beth Phoenix gets the win with the Glam Slam at 8:09 as it's a 36. The other pre-show match is another 36, as CJ Parker gets hurt in the tag match as Quick Death get the win as Tommy End pin Adam Rose with a mist into the black mass as, Tommy End best guy in the match, followed by Jerry, and then Adam Rose and CJ Parker with 30s and 28s, which obviously CJ Parker's injury hurt him a lot as far as in the performance rating. At least Sid Minister did some good work at ringside. As far as then we have the Cyber Slam intro after we go through that. That's, of course, just to Jerry who caused the injury. As now the shot that starts off the show, it's an angle that is shot inside this big, beautiful chapel, and there's candles surrounding the Sinister Minister as he's kind of near like a beacon where there's just candles, and there's books, and there's and there's warnings taped on the sides of just behind him, and it's just the Sinister Minister he's laughing and he's laughing, and he finally starts with, "You've all been warned, hide the women and children. There's something coming to ECW that is not of this world, and the likes that have never been seen in the wrestling world before. A beast that is ready to strike with vengeance and bloodshed till there is nothing left to be salvaged. He will leave piles of broken, discarded bodies in his path. There's nobody in the wrestling world that can stop him. Ladies and gentlemen, you have to see it with your own two eyes that this beast is what unforeseen evil looks like. For the fellow members of the ECW roster, you've all been warned. If you want to survive with your limbs intact and blood still pumping through your body, all I could say is pray. Pray for salvation. Pray for even a quick death. Because the end is coming. It's not going to be pretty. It's just obviously with the Sinister Minister kind of in the past, throughout his career, he's kind of usually have stayed away from, devils and angels and stuff of kind of that world. But I think to really solidify that this thing that's been warned, Tommy End warned last episode, and now for this episode for the Sinister Minister to really double down on that warning, it's something that is, this beast, this unforeseen evil that has been talked about, that blood will run through the streets, and that this thing will leave bodies of broken bodies in his path. It's, it is something of another world type of thing. And really to solidify that with this promo, which I get to 38. Not great. I just scared out myself. As 56, though, so this was obviously a pre-show match last episode, and felt like, obviously, it did pretty well, and felt like it could be an opener. And it gets a 56, as Kazarian gets the one with the Wave of the Future in 10:41. Kazarian almost with a 60, 40 for Jack Evans. So another 56, as we have a backstage interview, Stevie Richards with the Kings of Wrestling. So the Kings of Wrestling just talking about how this wasn't their month, September, losing the ECW tag team titles to the Shield and not having any wins this month. But that's all going to change in October, as they're eyeing for this year to be their year, and just to end out the year 2014 and end out ECW as ECW Tag Team Champions. Not only that, but the fact that, the tag team division right now, it is pretty stacked. We have, right now, obviously the tag champs in the Shield, Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. We also have the Team of Bad Influence. We got Prince Devitt and Drew McIntyre. We got, in all of the members of MVP's Most Violent Plays, whichever combination you want to use. If it's Bobby Lashley and Homicide, if it's Homicide and Caval, it's Bobby Lashley and MVP, and also the Dudley Boys as well. And just kind of hyping up the tag division and saying that they're going to be at the top again, sooner rather than later. And they are eyeing a two-time ECW Tag Team title reign, as that's just kind of a little backstage interview for Chris Hero and Cesaro. As then the next match, it's Devon and Rhino. So Rhino gets the win with a gore in 11:41. A couple of ECW originals having a match at the ECW arena. As then we have a hype video for, of course, Punk versus Kenta 3. As that's obviously the big marquee match for Punk and Kenta. Be there. As that gets a 71. As for the main event, and to determine who is the number one contenders of the ECW Tag Team titles, it is going to be Drew McIntyre and Prince Devitt as they beat the Team Bobby Lashley and Homicide, as Drew with the Claymore on Homicide. Really good tag match, a 67. Drew was the best guy in the match, followed by Bobby Lashley, then Homicide, and then Prince Devitt rounding it up with a 52. Good win, though, for Drew McIntyre there, and that's a fun main event. With now, we have another title match set. So right now, we have 3 matches going into Punk versus Kenta 3. Of course, the main event, Punk and Kenta. We also have an ECW Women's title match of Melissa Anderson and Paige. And then, the final tag match that we just saw get added as Drew McIntyre and Prince Devitt against The Shield. I think all 3 of those matches are really good. I mean, that tag match is going to be a lot of fun to see. Because, I really love that match on paper as far as Drew and Devitt against Roman and Seth Rollins. They kind of, as far as those teams, how they intertwine together, I think they gel really well. They kind of have the same the similarities and the same philosophies as the tag team. Got the big, heavy heater, the striker, or a guy that can finish a match at any moment, like Drew McIntyre, Roman Reigns with their spear and Claymore. And you got, kind of the smaller, lightweight kind of worker, quote-unquote guy, who can fly around, take a lot of crazy bumps, can do a lot of crazy shit. And, and Prince Devitt and Seth Rollins. I just feel like that tag match has a lot of potential there. Hopefully it does well. And I'm sure there'll be much more things as well to be seen on that show. Some undercard stuff that hasn't been announced yet and whatnot. And what a fucking shot that is. As thank you all for watching. I know these ECW CyberSlam episodes are pretty short, as far as what we're used to on the channel. Usually, most because we're booking multiple shows on the Noah series and on the New Japan series, but it's a nice change of pace. As now we're going to of course the Punk versus Kenta 3 show, and then we'll be in October, which as far as that goes, after Punk and Kenta, it will be the kind of the march towards November to Remember, which we want that show to obviously be. Really, if you would say like a season finale, quote unquote, like the big show of the year, definitely that. It's been a staple for ECW for a long time, obviously, and I think it's going to be a very, very fun show. Not only that show, the November to Remember show, if we're thinking ahead, but also Punk versus Kenta 3. Obviously, that main event's going to be fun, but I feel like there's going to be some big things happening on that show that hopefully pay off. Hopefully, fingers fucking crosses. Thank you all, and we'll catch you guys next time. Take care, everyone.